All right, y'all, we got the Cowboys' top 10 quarterbacks. Number 10, and I like this guy. I really liked Quincy Carter. Bill Parcells, however, did not. Despite that, started all 16 games in 2003, went 10-6, and made the playoffs. First Cowboy quarterback to make the playoffs post-Aikman. Played through a chaotic era with Parcells' arrival, a roster overhaul, no offensive continuity. He was more dangerous, rolling out, improvising. He had the potential to be a pretty damn good quarterback. Ultimately, he really couldn't get out of his own way. I got him at number 10. All right, number 9, Drew Bledsoe. Played the last 2 years of his career. Cowboys. Parcells brought him over, was a real statue in the pocket. 2005 had a good year, put up 3,000 yards, gave Dallas some stability in a tumultuous era. His benching is one of the most important turning points in the history of the Cowboys franchise because it ushered in the Tony Romo era. Bledsoe was passable in his 2 years in Dallas. I got him at 9. All right, number 8, Eddie LeBaron, Korean War veteran. They called him the Little General. 5'9", 170. Played on one of the weakest rosters in NFL history and held his own. Struggled early, led the league in picks, but 1962 put it together, made the Pro Bowl, led the league in quarterback rating, and really helped establish the Cowboys' identity before he handed the keys to Don Meredith. All right, number 7, Craig Morton. Now this guy had an underrated, very solid career. Led Dallas to Super Bowl V. Tom Landry really stuck with Morton a little too long, according to most fans. But you got to give Morton credit. He was a pretty talented player. Had a big arm. 1969 here, went 10-2. Led him to another 10 wins in 1972. More of a traditional pocket passer than Staubach, who was more mobile. Started Super Bowl V, and I got him at 7. I think it's a good spot for Craig Morton. All right, number 6, a guy who gets a tough rap, Danny White. Led the Cowboys to 3 straight NFC title games. Unfairly blamed for not getting to a Super Bowl, but his peak was pretty damn good. 1982, strike shortened year, but 5th in MVP, 2nd team All-Pro, Offensive Player of the Year votes. Really one of the more productive quarterbacks of the early 1980s. Was also an elite punter, and I think to a degree he deserves his flowers. He was a hell of a quarterback. I got him at 6. Number 5, Dandy Don Meredith. First Cowboys star quarterback. Was a gunslinger before the term gunslinger existed. Thrived in chaos. Charismatic, fearless. Led the Cowboys to back-to-back NFL championship games in 1966 and 67. 66 here, 3rd in MVP voting. Retired early at age 31. Went on the Monday Night Football booth. His personality really ushered in the term America's team. Cowboy cultural icon. I got him at number 5. All right, number 4, Dak Prescott. In terms of statistical accumulation, Dak is the best quarterback the Cowboys have had. Franchise leader in touchdown passes. Had some really good years, had some hard luck. 4th round pick, beat out Romo, and has had a hell of a career. I mean, look, 2023, his magnum opus. Led the league in touchdown passes, 2nd in MVP voting, been dealt a few bad hands. Some say possibly overpaid, but it's been a decade now, and I think Dak's body of work is more than respectable. I got him at number 4. He really needs a deep playoff run to make it any higher on this list. And number 3, we got Tony Romo. Similar to Dak, a lot of good numbers. Franchise all-time leader in passing yards, touchdowns, one of the more efficient quarterbacks of the 2000s, undrafted, came out of nowhere to become a superstar. And he was a hell of a quarterback. At his prime, he was truly gifted in terms of instinct. It was beautiful to watch at times. Peak year 2014, 113 quarterback rating to lead the NFL, almost 70% completion percentage, 3rd in MVP voting. Romo had a very, very good career. Like Dak, he just needed that deep playoff run to push him into the upper echelon of Cowboys quarterbacks. But I think 3 is good for Romo. I got him ahead of Dak. I just think he was a better football player than Dak. Definitely one of the best undrafted quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. All right, and then there were 2. At number 2, and I wanted to put him at 1. I really did. But number 2, I got Troy Aikman. 3-time Super Bowl champ. Didn't put up gaudy numbers, but he was a leader, calm, surgical, really showed up when it mattered. His best attribute was accuracy. One of the more accurate QBs of his era. Best year here, 1993, 5th in MVP voting. I know Troy had the line. I know he had Emmett and Mike. I know he had the surrounding cast, but don't get it twisted. Troy Aikman is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame for a reason. Dude was a hell of a quarterback. Had some of the best playoff performances by a quarterback in the history of the NFL. Got Troy at 2. So that leaves us with Roger Staubach, number 1. I had to be honest with myself. When you just zoom out and look at everything, Staubach's number 1. The prototype for the modern dual threat quarterback. 2-time Super Bowl champ, one of the greatest clutch quarterbacks ever. Some people think his peak is 1971 here, where he's 2nd in MVP voting, 104 QB rating. But nah, he was like wine, man, getting better with age. His last 2 years for me are his best. Age 36 and 37. Look here, 92.3 QB rating at age 37, 4th in MVP voting, 4th in Offensive Player of the Year. Ripped off 5 Pro Bowls in a row his last 5 years. Roger Staubach was the truth. Now, in terms of top 10 quarterbacks of all time, look, you know what? That'll be a conversation for another day, but he's definitely on the short list when it comes to quarterbacks who played this game. So I'll be surprised if I have any arguments at number 1 here. Debates here. Roger or Troy? Tony or Dak? See, I think Tony over Dak. Don Meredith over Danny White? What do y'all think? Quincy, could he have gone over Drew? Let me know, Cowboy fans. I know you're out there. Let me know what you think. So here's the metric. My quarterback metric is pretty on point. I may have to adjust some of the defensive metrics because I'm starting to disagree with them, but my quarterback metric has been pretty rock solid. I had Meredith over White. I wanted to include Chad Hutchinson, but I had to look myself in the mirror. Cooper Rush holding it down. John Kitna, I forgot he was a Cowboy. All right, y'all, take it easy.